Welcome everybody. Hello, hello, hello. For those who are tuning in now, I still am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Caster. We are back with the second part of our stream today, doing what I like to call some tabletop tea time. Normally we would be painting physical miniatures during this kind of a time, but we recently have a new game to try that is essentially tabletop war games in a digital environment. This is Moonbreaker, available currently on early access. These was kind of announced at what was a big game event? It was like Gamescom recently that this kind of got a big trailer at, and I was like, ooh. I mean, I adore playing video games that are inspired by tabletop mechanics. We play lots of like deck builders on this channel. We play like visual novels with like dice rolling and statistical elements like Citizen Sleeper. But this is very much just we got it working. We got it figured out. If the screen needs to be a bit smaller, we can do so, but that looks reasonable on my monitor. But do let me know if any visuals or audio are still funky. But yeah, we're just gonna go and give this a bit of a whirl. I guess we're gonna do both the battle tutorial and then spend probably the majority of the rest of the stream doing the miniature painting, because that's the bit I'm really, really excited about. We have a quick start. Okay, well, we'll do that first then. Welcome to Moonbreaker. Let's learn how to play. I guess I'll be playing using my stylus, actually, since I have it set up on my stylus.
Justice.
Turn that up a little bit. Me. This is your captain, Exilitor. If you lose him, you lose the match. And I'm going to readjust my mic arm so I can both see and y'all can hear me. Whoop. Okay. Keep him alive at all costs. Left click Elixir to Extilior. Okay. Left click Extilior to select him and move him into the range of the turret. Finally, use his melee attack to strike the turret. Sure.
I forget nothing.
Ah, I see. Cool. Nice. So it's kind of very much using what would be tabletop minis and moving them around and animating that, rather than making them move on their own, which is really cute. Really, really cute. Extilior has a special ability, Valorous Blades, which can damage multiple units at once. Move Extilior so he touches both enemy turrets. Then use Valorous Blade for his first attack and finish off the remaining turret with his standard attack. So we can do that, go to move, we can go here, then we have our C ability, Valorous Blades.
Can be so deadly.
And then we can use our melee attack on the last target. Actually, this works very, very well with Stylus, I must say, and turn. This unit, Crankbait, can pull units to her position. Use her grappling chain ability to pull the turret to her. Okay.
This is my jam!
That's definitely a line delivery. We're going to use grappling chain on this target here. Pull them in. I mean, we can still melee with her, right? We don't need to use Extilior, but there we go. Her name is Crankbait. Yeah. I wonder. Move Crankbait towards the two enemy turrets and then pull Extilior to her. Then you can use Extilior to destroy the turrets, all in a single turn. Sure. So we're going to move her close. Then use grappling chain on my ally.
High five.
And then use him to move to here. And then we can Valorous Blades the two of them. And they get shred. Oh, you can attack an ally. Ooh. Ooh. That hits everybody. That even hits allies. I see, I see. Good to know. Good to know. Dangerous.
Please don't make me mingle.
Why is there a giant floating head to this bottom right? Hold on, hold on. Aria is a ranged unit. Ranged units' accuracy is affected by distance, cover, and other units. Try targeting all three turrets to see how cover and your own unit's positions affect her shot. Use Aria to target different things. So is this Aria?
Studies show snipers perform best when left alone. It's science.
Can I move with... How do I move the camera? Wassid, okay. Yeah, there's a very suspicious looking head down here. Either the designers were too innocent to know what they were doing, or they knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, there's a bit of a Borderlands-y energy to this, right? I have a feeling crankbait is definitely something that they would have borne in mind with the naming. Anyway.
This mask really draws the eye.
So we have minus 11% accuracy here because an ally is in the way. How about... Was there an enemy? Where else were the other enemies? Is 0 because they're behind cover. And this has multiple things because there's both an ally and cover in the way. Sure. Nice. So we can use you to move over here. Valorous Blades isn't quite enough to destroy that turret, but we can use you to... How far is grappling chain? Grappling chain's quite far. So we can use you to move, like, what, here? Then use grappling chain to go and pull you in. And then next turn, she has a better line of sight to be able to attack things. She actually hasn't taken her move action yet.
No more happy hours. That's close enough.
I see, I see. Okay, we'll enter. Oh. Okay, nice. So we're going to move you here. Oh, it's blocked. Oh, yeah, we're all right. We're going to turn that off. We're going to do stillness. Does that work? No, it's fine. Can I turn... Oh, now I've selected it. I have to cast it. Okay, that's fine. Oh, no line of sight. Okay, we'll hit this one then.
Shots?
Here.
We must do this.
I didn't do this especially efficiently, but hey.
I get a little pansy.
There we go. Nice. I wonder if they licensed any part of Tailspire's engine for this, because it feels quite familiar. Oh, I'm really stuttering, aren't I? Is my frame rate really slow for all of y'all? Because I am looking at my OBS feed, and it is chugging. Encoding overloaded. Right, okay. Let me... medium. It's to windowed instead. Is that better? Okay. Right. Trying to set it full screen was doing it a mischief. But this should be a little better. Apologies. A new game I've not used yet, so we are navigating the tech with it. Medium being the lowest quality seems odd. I mean, you know, we are in an age where all games want to be really high definition in all sorts of ways, right? So they assume that everybody's going to be running that big 4K setup. And actually, I would be able to run this in ultra high quality, I think, if I wasn't streaming. So swings and roundabouts, balances. Anyway. Well done. Nice. I've spawned an enemy captain, Angry Jailbreak, as well as some support turrets and a new friendly unit for you to experiment with. Use what you've learned about your units and their abilities to defeat the enemy. Remember, you don't need to kill all the enemy units, just their captain. Angry Jailbreak is a melee unit with lock up. Touching rivals are immobilized. Ah. I see. So you don't want to get too close. This is our new unit, Tipu, who is both a move and a melee action. How far can you move? Not that far, you're quite slow. Alright. We're just gonna get in base-to-base contact and just melee you. Nice. Go away. We are going to...
I scope with my little scope.
move like here.
Don't mind the woman behind the big gun.
Mm-hmm. We've got the damage boost, and we're going to shoot you for 2. Then we're going to use you to move you back into cover. And move... Oh, I'm base locked. I see. Okay, never mind. Haha. Didn't realize that base sizes were important in that kind of way. Don't worry about it. We're no longer going to move. Can I cancel that? I can't cancel it, I see.
Calculate or contemplate.
Or is it maybe escape to cancel or move? I see. Well, whatever. It's all good. Enter. Oh, they've moved further. Okay, is it back to my turn? Can't quite get to where that needs to go just yet, but that's fine.
If I die, no more happy hours.
We're gonna do this.
Some space.
And shoot you. And then we're gonna finish you off with a melee attack. Nice. Can I grappling chain you?
Yes, I'm
And pulling you behind there, and that makes your line of sight worse. Okay, cool. And now it's a matter of trying to not overextend.
I forget nothing.
Okay, enter. Yeah, so if you can't squeeze the base through, so you just can't move. No problem though, we good. We are going to move you in base-to-base contact here. Melee you. Oh, you have a revenge attack, I see. And Velos blades you for 5. Move you in a base-to-base contact on this side of the mini. Melee you for like 4. And then you die. Nice. Oh, you get larger when you kill an enemy. I see. The very basics of Moonbreaker, but this is just the beginning. You're ready to move on to try your hand at some real matches. Good luck. All right. Yeah, this is quite straightforward. A skirmish simulator. You have a move, action, your basic attack, and some characters have a special. That's a lot lighter than actually a lot of physical, like miniature games, right? The miniature game that I play the most at the moment is Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is it's designed for people who haven't really played any war games before and are into it because of the IP usage, which granted, that's why I was interested in playing it in the first place. And that's quite simple to understand, but a lot of characters still have a good 3 to 4, maybe as much as 5 or 6 different abilities that you can use. So this is actually much simpler than what I would consider like a relatively simple skirmish game, which is interesting. Shall we do a match versus an AI, I guess? You can also claim these things. I guess there's probably a bit of a live service angle to this as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's do a match versus an AI. I have to...
I will not stop hunting.
Yep, it's all supernatural.
A soothing sea. All wrapped up.
And we have assist options, I see. We can restore health to allies. We can reinforce. Move that unit from the reserve to the bridge. Okay. I don't know what that means yet, but we'll find that out. Ion Storm. Ranged units get fucked for accuracy. Charged Nano Shield takes no damage. Sure, that's a good thing to use against enemies with revenge attacks. Sure. Orbital Strike, deal 3 damage to all enemy units. Takes 4 turns for that to come online. And Disruptor Beam. Move units in an area apart. So we have to choose one of these 3. We have the Healing and Movement. We have the Range, Disruption, and Shield. And then we have the airstrike and kind of movement disruptor. Hi, Res Quandary. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Playing a little bit of Moonbreaker. A tabletop war game rendered entirely digitally. So we have our bridge. Crew members that can be deployed, although we aren't able to do that yet. I guess we have a mana system, Cinder, so we can't summon all of our units just yet. Okay. And then we also have our enemy unit, our enemy champion over here. Zax Jakar. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. I was having a little bit of a shaky, mistakey tech issues getting this to run on my tablet. Because, you know, I want to be able to use my tablet to do the painting side of this game, which I'm sure we will check out in a bit after we do this one skirmish, just to check that I know the rules. But yeah, excited. Sleeper Mine. Generates a Sleeper Mine. It takes 1 turn to arm. Move units in an area together. I see.
These paradoxes give pause.
My character has Shield of Hope, reducing unit damage by 1. And deal 3 damage to all targets within range. So in that little demo mode, it really didn't talk about like MP that I can use, but now we are in a full match, that's now a thing that matters. So let's go and move my character to here. And we don't need to use Shield of Hope. There's nothing to really shield against. We're just going to end turn. Deploying a unit. I now have 3 mana, apparently. So I can summon Crankbait. Bearing in mind how big your base is, huh? Oh, it's within range of you, I see. Let me cancel that. Okay, escape cancels.
Be brave.
Then I can summon Crankbait from the bridge to, like, here.
Hand where you can see it.
Ah, and you have, like, summoning sickness, so I can't do anything with you yet. Okay. End turn. And then you have shot attacks, huh?
Let me at them.
Ooh. I see. 92% chance you still missed, huh? Sorry about it. That sucks for you. Pushing enemies back. Okay, I see. Right. So now my unit here is a bit walled in because they have been hemmed in by this unit here. So I guess we're just going to have to.
These paradoxes give pause.
Oh, that's still not quite base-to-base contact, huh? So I can't melee you. Can I Sword of Justice you?
For justice!
Cool. And then I can Shield of Hope
Defensive
to take
field
less damage.
activated.
Cool. You, can I move? I can't. So I will melee attack you. They took 0 damage. Took 0 damage. Okay, right, well. I have already been outmaneuvered. It's looking pretty... How...
Oh no! Allergic to gunfire?
How does this thing resist so much damage?
Lights are on.
Oh no!
Playing safe.
Clear mind.
Oh, so you can return and... Oh my god. I am already getting clapped pretty bad, it seems. But that's okay. We're gonna move
I am in
you
control.
to, like, what? Here. We're gonna Sword of Justice to deal damage to
Will
these
have
two.
Retribution.
Then melee you.
Recalculating.
Move units in area apart. Deal 3 damage to all base units in an area. Can I deploy anything? A 5 and a 4. Both of those are not okay. Let me... How much damage? I can do this without hurting my unit, so let's do that.
The right decision.
Cool. And then I can let me see. It tells me where the units get moved to at the very least.
With righteous intent.
I had a soft mission and now I get a hard one. True.
You got it.
Ooh, 2 damage. I mean, if you're all going to move in close like that, then I get to, Oh? Keeping the spacing up. Okay. So we have the bridge. We can summon Furia. and Jailbreak. Touching rivals are immobilized, huh? Let's do that then. So that unit can no longer move. We're going to move you here. We're going to Shield of Hope you.
We will hold them off.
And then what's the AoE on Sword of Justice? We hit all three, but my ally has already got 1 point of shield, so it'll deal him less damage.
You gave me no choice.
That still did 4 damage. What? Why did it do more than 3? I don't understand. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. And he's gonna get bullied and just die. Wow. Oh, that was like a mine. I see.
Come on, everyone. Look alive. It's more scared of you.
Interesting. Well, first things first, I'm going to Sword of Justice these two. Then melee you. Then move to... Oh, hold on. Let's not move. This is the Disruptor Beam, right? If I put it here, I can fling the mine back into him, and that deals damage.
Intriguing design.
It didn't blow up. Okay. That is okay, though. We are going to move to, like... He can attack me kind of wherever. Yeah, you have a ranged attack. So it's just placing myself where the odds of you dealing damage is a lot worse. So if we put ourselves, like, here. Shield of Hope to give myself 1 point of defense. And turn. Okay, the mine did blow up in his face. Cool. It blows up at end of turn. Yeah, he placed a unit in the way so he couldn't... I have now max charge on my mana. I don't know how that's calculated, but that's okay. We're going to go and put Furia back here.
Smells like tears.
So I don't have to worry about her being attacked. Use Sword of Justice to hit you. Cannot melee. Alright. Just moving forward a little bit. Meleeing you. Shield of Hope to protect myself.
Defense first.
And turn. Okay, I sort of get it.
We'll thwart evil.
Return to the hand. I see. Oh, that still did damage. Oh boy. All right. So we have our orbital strike. So we're gonna do that and hit these two. Cool.
Fine. I'm fine.
Oh, she has a ranged attack. Huh. You die. That crit for 10? Alright. Sick. We're gonna move you to behind here. We're gonna move you to here. Sword of Justice to deal you 3 damage.
Not harm them.
Shield of Hope to go and protect my new unit. And can I use this to knock this in the path of ooh. Gosh, I'm gonna have to do this with a regular mouse to be Because there's a specific point. Just getting that. Yeah, there we go.
Minds will battle.
Silly. Very silly. Okay. And then that blows up and deals him damage. Cool. Okay. You can shoot me, but that's fine. I don't need to worry about that. I already win. Because I can move you.
Your breathing.
Oh. Interesting. 13. Ranged attack to shoot you. Die. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff in doing that version of the fight that I had to understand as we went. But it was easy enough to kind of get the gist of. GG. Yeah. Alright. Now that we have gotten the combat system out of the way. Oh, and we won a match versus an AI, so we can claim some currency. I don't know what that currency is. I'm sure we'll find out. But yeah, there's a season track, so this is definitely a game that's framing itself to be a live service. So you play regularly to unlock other miniatures and things like that. Which is interesting. I mean, one of the things that can be a big barrier to playing miniature war games and just tabletop games in general is that sometimes it can be very difficult to find an in-person game group on the regs. There is a location in the city where I live where I can go and find games where they play Marvel Crisis Protocol and like Warhammer 40k. But if I was playing outside of that, it might be difficult to go and find groups, you know? So if this is a way where you can get your war gaming itch scratched, if you can't find anybody to play with IRL, that's nice. That's nice. All right, let's go and do some painting. These characters are all quite detailed. Ooh, I quite like this one. With the two guns and the very Greco-Roman looking helmet. Oh, there's lore for each one as well? Okay. Maximus. Considering the charter, we see upholding a good reputation with other moons is central. We see upholding a good reputation with other moons is central to a Methodori's sense of pride. Respect, justice, and fairness are at the core of their cultural identity. Generally, Methodori dislike lightheartedness and mockery. They want to be known for being serious and keeping their word. Irreverent individuals are socially punished. While there is societal pressure to conform to these ideals, not all individuals do so. Oh, please. Okay, we're behaving. And we have this. Ooh, who is she though? With the dancer style pose. I dig this. Torian, the Guardian. The very peacocky pose. Okay, I want to paint this one. New scheme. Okay, there we go. And now we can start to paint. We have paints, we have washes, we have dry brushes, we have an airbrush, and we can stipple and decal. And we have different color palettes that we can use. Oh, whoops. I see. All right. So we need to kind of decide what kind of color scheme we want to go and paint this in. Airbrush. Do you just want to airbrush this all in black and then start to do layering? So we can start airbrushing the entire thing and then kind of go back in with layers on top. That is generally how folks do like to airbrush their minis to get the base color going. People don't really want a base color in gray. Let's right click to, okay. What's this? Color picker. Ah, this is the size of the brush. And this is the opacity. Oh, so I can do washes. Okay. I can, like, use inks, as it were, to... So we're just gonna airbrush mans all over in black. And then I guess we're gonna do a colored zenithal as well. Hey bees! Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. I think it's not quite afternoon for you yet. But I hope you're doing well. I technically only have an hour before I have to go and vanish to another task today. So maybe the method that we are using to paint today is unideal, considering I have a bit of a time limit. But we did enjoy playing Splatoon, so it's all good. I'm doing well, thank you. I am doing well. We had my Saturday was visiting very good friends of mine to do a queer film night. We watched Big Eden. It was a very, very wholesome movie, actually. It was very charming. But yeah, we've moved on to digital miniature painting. I think you might have caught us on air for physical miniature painting in the past. I cannot remember if that is a thing that you've caught us doing before. Hold on. Can I go back to right? I have to reselect the color I see. Right, cool. So we're priming this miniature entirely in black first. Always watching. Ooh, spooky. Ookie spooky. You know, so covering the miniature entirely in black. Yeah, that's more or less it. Cool. And then we're going to Zenithal Prime. So again, using a pretty, let's zoom out a little bit. We have to kind of decide what angle we're going for here. So it's a not fully high angle. And then we're gonna be dusting this blue on top. And then we're gonna go even higher and go for a light blue. And we're going to reduce the size of the brush a little bit. And then we're gonna be dusting this on top. So what we have now is the upper areas that catch the light are in the lighter colors, and the areas that are in shadow aren't caught by the colors. It seems to have like gone through the cape and stuff a little bit. Obviously, it doesn't work like real physics. So there's some parts of it that are that have the airbrush coloring like underneath the cape, even though I technically didn't hit that. But that's fine. This is a video game. This level of unrealism is part of how these things be. But now that we've got our base coloring down, we can start painting in earnest. What kind of color scheme do we want to use? I want to go with a kind of peacocky colors. So how is this in terms of like, okay, I see. We're gonna set the opacity a little lower. Oh yeah. That does what I expect that to. Okay. So let's see here. We can focus on getting the wings where we want them first. That seems an experiment on this wing here. I mean, the ability to undo is definitely nice. I like the two-toned effect that we've got going for the wings. Nice. Let's move over to this one. Ah, the blade is covering the wing slightly, but that's fine. We're gonna go back to this. I'm gonna drop the size a little. Zoom in a little bit. Highlighting this edge of the. Obviously, this means that we could technically zoom in finer than what we could manage in real life, and use a brush finer than what we can manage in real life. And I guess that's the art of it, right? It's the idea of being able to do these hyper detailed paint jobs that you wouldn't be able to manage otherwise is part of the appeal. I get that. I'm set the again and zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, the music for painting's nice, very relaxing. I'm not quite getting the level of opacity that I wanted. If I drop that even lower, because I want to tint the material, but still have the undercoat that I did come through. And that's sort of come through. That's sort of come through. I'm trying to do the technique that I do in real life, which is maybe not necessarily what this is best at doing. But I like the idea of the underpainting technique, where you already set the colors. You set like the brightness, the value of the colors using underpainting, and then glazing colors on top to be able to still get the colors underneath. We don't quite have that here, but then maybe that's what the washes will do. I assume the washes will work like real washes, and that they'll settle into recesses to do a different color. For now, though, we'll continue with whoops. Getting this light blue on all of the half of the feathers. I know that you obviously do a lot of dice rolling, Bees, but have you ever been one to do tabletop miniature stuff before? In your like D&D adventures, have you ever Have you ever used a miniature? I guess we're going to, if we're continuing with a kind of like peacock design inspiration, we're going to be going for some kind of like bolder greens in some places. And then also, I mean, gold is not necessarily a part of what an actual peacock actually looks like, but it's always fun to give a little bit of fancy coloration to other bits and pieces. Like we can probably give a green, a green wash to this. What's that doing? Ooh. Actually, let's try that here first. What is that? Oh, because the opacity is so low. And then that's settling in the recesses of the... Yeah, I see it. So there's a bit of a green undertone in the recesses of these feathers now. Actually, let's do that for all of these then. I like that idea. Oh, that's a little too harsh. Yeah, that's just coloring it green. Oh, it's set to back to paint again, that's why. Wash in green. Yeah, that's setting a coloring of it as it goes into the recesses. It's a little murky in places. I might have to be more precise with the application of the wash. I mean, if it makes you want to paint, then it's definitely working as intended. I'm sure part of the reason why for this in the first place is all kind of like, oh man, would love to paint in general, but finding the space to do so in real life can be an absolute nightmare. So let's do it in a vid game instead. I can absolutely see that. It should probably, when moving back into a paint mode, remember the setting that you used last, because it's definitely switching back to paint mode when I had it in wash mode before. What do I want to do for like even the chest piece? Oh, the back as well. Oh, have I been accidentally painting the tail feathers? Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's fine. We are going to. I mean, this coloration in the base of the tail feathers is quite nice, so we don't need to change that. Let's go for this purple. Again, we're going to keep relatively low opacity. And we're just going to... Okay. Yeah, no, it needs to be higher opacity than that. I want it to be pretty bold. Yeah, there we go. I can probably go with a larger brush size too. Paint in the trying to not accidentally painting the fabric that's up there. Because these are quite detailed minis too, so it's like finding a way to not accidentally paint over other bits or bits and pieces you don't intend to, but then that's true of regular mini painting to be real. This music feels like a stealth mission or a chapter of Celeste. Yeah, it's definitely got the spooky space vibes. But then I think that's definitely the attitude of the game as a whole, to have some spooky space vibes. Okay. Continuing to kind of paint the cloth here. And then what? Do we want to go and give that a the Novian blue as a wash? There, opacity down a little bit, just to kind of like stain the inside here. So it's going from this blue into the purple. Nice. Okay. We've got it to like settle into the recesses of the miniature again. Nice. And then what we're going to go and try is dry brushing. To dry brush this more kind of like vibrant pink on top. This. Oh yeah, there we go. And a bit more at the edges. Yeah, there we go. That looks cool. There's the fabric in the back here is an absolute mess, but that is okay. But that is okay because we can just paint over it. That is entirely fine. So we're going to go back to paint and we're going to go and sit in the, what was it that we were using before? Hologram. Smaller size. Just hopefully not painting the fabric underneath. Yeah, that's looking nice. We can get into what we're using Novian blue as a wash near the top and at the edges. And then we can dry brush in the Ozo across the top of this to make the raised edges really stand out. There we go. I mean, the ability to switch between different modes and colors, I've managed to get all sorts of like little splashes of it on the mini. You can see the little bits of light blue that I've accidentally painted on, and that's fine. You know, that's pretty indicative of my general coloring ability. let's start painting some gold details, shall we? Just to have a go at that. To which we want maybe a kind of duller brown in paint. Pretty high opacity. Yeah. Maybe slightly lower than that, lower opacity than that. Take it about here. Yeah. And a blush of the blue to show through. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether I would call this easier or harder than painting with normal paints. The ability to undo and things like that is definitely a thing that one would consider easier. But getting just the right angle, or I guess the feeling of surface tension, isn't quite in this. So the way that stuff like contrast paints and the like work, right? Or even washes, really, is that they are trying to settle themselves either across large open surfaces or settle into recesses. Which am I feeling more? I mean, there is the joy of using physical painting is also, I think, in part the the ability to have full control over the models that you're using, right? You know, you can kit bash miniatures to do things, or you can you know, use miniatures from some sets that you wouldn't normally. I don't like that orange. Let's set that brown there again. And that's obviously a little more difficult in a digital space where they are, you know, they want you to very specifically use their miniatures, and that's cool. You know, the miniatures in this are very, very interesting, actually. The style of the ones that I tend to use in things are a more modern sci-fi, like a bit more cyberpunky. This has a very gosh, the immediate example that comes to mind is like Wild Star, right? It's a kind of like pulp sci-fi with a kind of like Warcraft, actually, like Western sensibility to its kind of like chunkiness. It'd be fun if you could import files from Blender in the full release to paint, but I don't think that's what they're going for. No, especially since, you know, looking at that kind of progression of it being a live service, there are probably all sorts of miniatures that they want to introduce. We're going to use a smaller brush here. And I get that. That's definitely a way of getting people to be invested in new miniatures over time. I think it'd be really cool if I think it would be really cool if it took on the approach of like a genre blending a bit. You know, we have a pretty well established style of sci-fi in the characters that we have here already. I quite like this specific kind of like slightly Aztec-y like warrior design that they've got going on for this style of unit. That's fun. But it would be interesting to see what other styles of sci-fi they would be going for this. I think that would be really interesting to see them genre blend and look to other sci-fi archetypes in terms of the characters that they introduce. Because, you know, if they did like a fully cyberpunk set, that'd be cool. If they did a kind of like, you know, how the Tau in Warhammer are very mech and Japanese robotics inspired, that's also cool. I would be down to go and give that kind of a whirl. We are being imprecise here, but that is okay. We have the ability of going back in later to do the additional details. Because there's all sorts of areas under the mini that we have not reached. Technically, if this was real airbrushing, this would all still be in shadow. Only it would be really neat to see something like that allowed to do the texturing of models, do the texturing of other models in this more artistic system. The Tau are such little guys, I love them. Yeah, they're cool. My partner, specifically in Warhammer, plays Tau. Please. We're going all the way in on trying to detail the, or get all the paint that we want to on this, like, sword sleeve thing, and I shouldn't really worry about that too much. Just like with the minis in real life, done is better than perfect. We cannot obsess on these. We want to camera around. We use this orange to go and get. Okay, and then we will like what using Toner's glow. It's like the highlights. This is I don't normally do non-metallic metal. I definitely prefer to just use a metallic paint. Maybe we should try stippling. Maybe that will do what we want here. Oh, I see. Yeah. That gives it a much more sparkly feeling. That's interesting. I'll probably turn up the opacity of that as well, actually, yeah. It'd be amazing to stipple at this scale. I mean, yeah. Yeah. This is definitely not a thing you can do in real life. But hey, you know, we use the tools we are given to make something very messy. Actually, we can dry brush, maybe. Just go across this. Oh, yeah, and it raises gets the highlight on the edge of it. Nice. Oh. Yeah, this is particularly messy, I suppose, but that's okay. That feels a bit more like metal. What else can we experiment with doing? Let's paint his face. Oh, it's all a mask. He doesn't have exposed skin. Okay. Then... do we do the face in gold too? Nah, that would be... We have purple going. A messy technique by design. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because we have the... Oops. We have the purple that we did here. So let's see if we can find other places to kind of incorporate it sensibly. Let's take that purple into his... Oh, let's see here. There's the fabric here as well. It's sort of taking on the because I've made it so translucent, we still get that difference in tone, just a little bit. Yeah, this part has come out the best, I think. Maybe I should continue to work on the back of this, and let's not focus on the very messy front that I did. Yeah, that metal for the back brace, of the attachment of the scarf, that came out really nicely. This experiment. Just bring up a little bit of green in the tips of that. Cool. Looks good. Looks good. Let's... Ooh, since this is already quite light, let's maybe... use this as the transition shade into trying to make it look gold, huh? Yeah. So we're building it on the armor pieces like this. We could probably do... Yeah, because that looks much more yellow in that context of the other green. Okay. So we can make this a little larger. I'll kind of fill in the space here. Just getting that base color in. And on this kind of back panel as well. How much time do I have? Another 20 minutes. Okay. I'm very cognizant of the time. So we're definitely not going to finish it in time, any. But hey, we got to have a play with it, which is the important thing. I am definitely approaching this like working on a digital painting rather than as if I was painting a mini inherent. I'm using much more sketchy and free-floatingly lines where I would be much more carefully trying to carve out a space if I was doing it on an actual... Let's crank up the opacity. into the gaps a little bit. And that's interesting, right? Where this is like sitting as a halfway between physical and digital. Interesting. This shoulder as well, which we do entirely in the wash. Actually, I can probably use a darker wash than that. Okay, let's see here. If we are going for this, and we wash that into the recesses here, because it's going to wash in darker. This is a wash rather than a layer. That's fine. Yeah. And we dry brush in, what was it? Toner's Glow. Across the raised areas. Definitely doing a lot of things that are new for a digital space, but I imagine it still feels a bit off. Yes. You know, there is something about the cling of physical paint that isn't exactly here. And that's okay, you know, it's its own thing. But it's definitely a thing to adjust to. The dry brushing works really well. I actually really like the dry brush. That definitely feels a lot like regular dry brushing. The wash is not quite, and if this managed to do an equivalent of contrast paint, I would be like, oh, mind blown. But just building in that shadow. Really thin, opaque. Yeah. Oh. Let's see. Let's edge highlight these wing panels, I guess. So small, super opaque, and catching the edge. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Does this make sense with any light sources we've established? Absolutely not. But doing edge highlighting in a unified color across a mini? Love doing that. It's a peacock vibe. We are definitely achieving a peacock vibe here. Let's get more of the paint to, oh gosh, was that the color I was using? For the deeper colors, I think so, but we need to instead rely on the orange, yeah, but not at max opacity. We're going to take that back down. The opacity, I'm getting used to the controlling for the opacity as well to get it into more of an ink rather than just a paint. That detail has I'm starting to get better at that. I think one of the things that I notice is if there is a an object that is further towards the camera and you draw across it, it will start. So yeah, you can see that there's a gap here that was made by this headpiece being in the way. If there was a way to kind of get the paint, like where the brush is sitting, to snap, as it were, to an area, so you don't absolutely do that, that'd be great. I think that would be really, really useful. Maybe that's more of an edge thing. So this needs to be okay. Looking here, just painting that in. Accidentally included a real world painting problem. I mean, it was probably by design, but if I was using an actual paintbrush to kind of go across there, the side of my brush would hit against the object, where that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen here. This is the gap in 3D space is actually pretty big between this headrest piece and the shoulder. I don't think it's a thing that would actually happen with a real paintbrush. But you know, if we're trying to cause affordances to make, you know, painting in this space maybe a little easier, that would be something that I would probably be like, oh, that would be a useful addition to have personally. Let's see. We can get the purple out again. And with, yeah, relatively low opacity but large brush. Paint this collar thing here. There's always a moment of done. How do I get the color there? I mean, yes. There is a... Well, this is a side effect of especially detailed minis, right? Where the character design of that can be fun and funky fresh, but also the process of actually getting in to those tiny areas can be a bit of a mare. There are actually some minis that I genuinely don't quite like, don't enjoy painting as much because it can be such a faff to actually get the paint on the model in the way that one would want. We're going to do a wash back into the, what was it, the Novian blue. Just filling in the recesses here. Yeah, nice. And then we get the dry brush. And then we're going to go get the, what? Ur6 pink. Relatively high opacity, relatively small brush. And we're going to start getting the edges. Yeah, dry brushing is definitely my favorite part of painting in this system. It feels a little snappier as well. It's less, because it's supposed to specifically cling to an edge of a thing, it's less accidentally connecting to other parts of the mini I don't want to paint. So that's probably why I'm also vibing with it. Oh, but yeah, that looks cool. That's a me problem. I have way too much grey in my collection. Ah, yeah. I don't really work in grey. I always work in neons. Hence the name, innit? Let's see. Let's go and do something with the hair, and then we can say, "Hey, we painted part of a mini." Because that waist belt came out so nice, so nice. We also probably need to. What color do we want to paint the hair? We'll paint the hair in the brown, going larger, taking low opacity. Is that too low opacity? That's fine. That's buildable. We do kind of want the blue tones that we zenithalled the thing in to actually come through. Otherwise, what's the point of zenithalling? Well, there are a lot of professional mini painters who use zenithal as kind of like a guide of where the light and shadow reaches on a mini and don't really use it to kind of add technical value to the painting. They're not using it to actually establish the white and black to come through with inks, but you know. I need to lower the size a little bit now that we're at the end of the... Oh, tablet, tablet. Okay, there we go. Oof. Yeah, I mean, going back to paint. As we continue to fill up the recesses there. Moving camera. Moving camera. I'm getting used to the camera controls now. Initially I was like, whoa, but it's not too unintuitive or anything like that. It'd be nice if the camera controls at the bottom were a toggle. So you click them once to enter that mode, and then click them again to go back to the thing that you were to the mode that you were painting in. That'd be really nice. I would definitely find that very useful. And then we're going to use a purple wash on the hair. Slightly stronger opacity. And get that into all the recesses to go and tint it purple. Oh gosh, there's a whole area here that hasn't been done in regular paint yet. Let's get that going. Oh. Especially since this is the angle that we are going to be taking a screenshot from. It's coming along nicely. Yeah. It's coming along nicely. You know, like a real miniature painting process, you could take hours getting everything just so. And maybe in the future, because the developers of Moonbreakers are doing a content creators program, so they may potentially go and give us a copy of this game. I have asked nicely in their little submission form. It'd be neat. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a stream where I just go and paint a mini this way. It is actually quite nice to kind of do with a tablet. The experience of this might be a little different, I think, if you were to actually try and use a if you were to try and do this via mouse. I think the experience of it would definitely be notably different. More difficult, for sure. Purple wash into the recesses in the hair. this bit is still kind of unpainted. Just getting those last little bits. Oh. Ah! Not quite. There we go. Paint. Into here. Yeah, I think if I was to try and do the Zenithal Prime method again in system, I would airbrush all of it in black and then specifically use the dry brushing to get what I needed, rather than also using the airbrush to do that. But then that's a learning. This is also a thing that happens a lot in real miniature painting, right? Where you kind of have a bit of a learning curve with just the new tools you were using. You know, if I've never used contrast paints before, if I've not used this, that, and the other, and then the idea of it is like, oh, this is coming out bad. I don't like the colors that this has kind of turned into, but I think it's something that's easily adjustable. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna make this a little lighter. I'm gonna make this a little less opaque. And to dry brush. No. Let's see. More opaque, smaller size. Zoomed in. Yeah, there we go. Contours of the hair. Yeah. I wonder if they will do physical renditions of any of these minis. I mean, it would only make sense. Similar to transitioning from a traditional to digital art. Yeah. I mean, there's the process of me getting used to this engine in specific and how it's different from the digital painting software that I already use, and then how it's similar and different from using like the other bits and pieces that I already do for mini painting, those kind of like adjustments. Yeah, there's a very specific angle that we have to look at this at so you can see my handiwork. But yeah. Oh, and we can let's turn this glow as a dry brush on this specifically. Oh. Yeah. Just using that edge highlighting to go and do the detailing that we're not able to sensibly do within a time limit. There we go. I mean, that looks pretty good. I mean, this belt in particular, I'm very, very proud of specifically this area of the mini, right? If I applied, you know, a non-hasty hour to the front half of the mini, we could get something looking equally crisp, maybe. But for now, this will just have to kind of stand as a demo to what the painting tools in this are like. Is there a way for me to save what I have done? We can toggle the UI. Okay, sick. Let me toggle UI. Camera. Go and take a picture of this real quick, so I can use it for social media. Hold on. Specific window. This window. Thank you. Excellent. And now let's go save it. Where do I save? This is called the Peacock Test. Paint. Yeah. Sick. Is this considered saved? I can't tell. Auto masking? What is auto masking? Oh! That was the thing. Auto masking is what prevents you from accidentally painting on the wrong layer when you move your brush too far. That's what. Some of this would have been so much easier. The things we find immediately once we're done for the day. Goodness me. That was the exact thing I wanted. The exact thing I wanted. Hell yeah. I mean, I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad it's a thing that's in the it's a thing that's in the system. Good. Gosh. Okay. Would I like to save the paint scheme? Save it. Cool. So we didn't finish it. We kind of experimented with painting the wings in the front. And then we have a very, very nice, like, slight section in the back. But I'd finish this. I would absolutely go back and take the time to finish this. It's a patient process, but that is what mini painting is in general, right? That is exactly what mini painting is in general. Oh, God. I had a lot of fun. Doing that. Excellent. So for the rest of the day, I don't know when this will stop running, but currently on Steam, Moonbreaker is on an early access weekend. So you too get to have a go painting one of these. All you just need to go do is go over to Steam. Let's go find it on Steam for you, shall we? Yeah, here it is. Whoop. So all you need to go to is just go visit Moonbreaker on Steam, and you can get into its early access program for the weekend. Does it say specifically when? So the early access release formally is on September 29th. And this is running through just this weekend. PT. I guess that's Pacific time. So until the end of the day, Pacific time, you can go and do it. And then if you miss the opportunity, there is another weekend playtest next weekend. So that would be from the Friday 16th until Sunday 18th. So you get to have another go then. And then there will be a formal early access release on September 29th. So you'll have more opportunities to go and give it a whirl. On top of that, a announcement for yous. Two things, actually. There is next Tuesday, I will be doing a voice acting stream, a voice acting request stream. with a good friend of mine, Loxley / the Satyr of Strategy. And there is a submission form put just there for you to go and give us things to say. That can be memes, it can be affirmations, you can get me to do an other if you want me to, you know, all those kind of things. But we do need your submissions. We've had a handful of submissions so far, but I would genuinely love more. So please do, if you haven't submitted a voice action request for us yet, to please do that there. If you are a Campaign Skyjacks fan, this is an excellent opportunity to get Captain Aura Malvale to say something fun for years. Also on Tuesday is, funnily enough, a Kickstarter that I am part of. I am the editor and one of the story writers for Nether Realms, a sci-fi, non-binary erotic comics anthology. Yes, I am very say-so when I am streaming, but I am in a position to occasionally write a spicy story. I'm always at a loss when people post these opportunities. It's like all my scripts just evaporate. I mean, you can just find a fun thing in like a game that you like, your favorite flavor text on some cards, you know? I'll read anything as long as it's not like, you know, actually offensive. And I know that you're cool, Sheila, and wouldn't do that. So, you know, please do submit for that form and go and check out this sci-fi comics anthology also releasing on Tuesday 13th. I think that you will have a fun time with both of those. Right, with that out of the way, I need to go and A, eat something, and B, there are some people expecting me to go and play a video game thing with them like 10 minutes ago. So we are going to go and pass it over to good friend of ours, Shanghai, who is deep in the weeds of playing Splatoon 3 at a competitive level. Please do give them your support. Please do give them love, adoration, claps. I have been your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Caster. This has been the Neon Caster stream, and we will see you in the future. Farewell.